Does Amazon KDP no longer allow low-content books? In recent months, many people have shared stories on the KDP community forum and Facebook groups about their books being blocked immediately after hitting the publish button. They receive a cold automated email: based on our review, we won't be accepting your submission for publication because the book might result in a disappointing customer experience. When they try to get more clarity, Amazon responds with yet another generic message, upholding their decision and leaving creators frustrated and confused. What's worse, many turn to Facebook groups or KDP forums for help, only to be bullied or blamed by so-called gurus for things like keyword stuffing, copyright violations, or using AI. But here's the thing, while those reasons might explain some cases, there's a bigger question we need to ask. Could Amazon KDP bots be banning certain keywords, leading to book blogs in specific low-content niches? At the end of the video, I will share some low-content book niche examples that might make you think. Before you prejudge, wait to see the examples I will present and be sure to watch until the end. I would love to hear your thoughts and experience in the comments. Let's discuss what's really happening. Let's first go over some of the common mistakes people make when they get the disappointing customer experience email from Amazon KDP about their blocked books. For additional information, Amazon mentions in the disappointing customer experience email that you can refer to their terms and conditions, which were revised on September 27, 2024. If you have started receiving blocked book messages after that date, I highly recommend checking sections 3 and 4.2 as these were updated. For those with older accounts, go to your KDP dashboard, click your account, then in the account details section, click edit identity and make sure everything is up to date. Don't forget to check your date of birth section. This wasn't required before, and when it was added, I remember my account had that section empty. When you are confident about this, it's worth checking if there might be an issue with your title or subtitle. To ensure you are following the rules, review the KDP Help Center's book titles and editions section and make sure you adhere to all the listed guidelines. One common mistake among KDP beginners is repeating generic keywords like notebook, journal, gifts, or books in their titles or subtitles. For example, using notebook in the title and journal or book in the subtitle is a frequent error. Even if a notebook could technically function as a journal, they are not the same thing. This can lead to a disappointing customer experience for someone expecting a journal but receiving a notebook instead. While some older books don't adhere to these rules may still sell well, they were likely published before stricter enforcement began. You might also come across some newly released books that don't follow these guidelines. I will show you an example later in this video that leaves me confused about how Amazon's bots operate. However, since the guidelines are clearly outlined in the KDP Help Center, it's best to follow them carefully to avoid unnecessary rejections. Regarding titles and subtitles, I want to share an important update from Amazon for FBA sellers. New product title requirements effective January 21, 2025. While this isn't directly about Amazon KDP, I believe you should seriously consider these updates as they likely tie into the new Cosmo algorithm I discussed in a previous video. Here's what Amazon stated. Over time, we have observed that product titles have become longer, and they sometimes include redundant wording or characters that can decrease customer confidence. These new policy changes will help ensure that product titles are clear, concise, and consistent. Here's how the new rules for FBA products could relate to KDP books. Titles must not exceed 200 characters, including spaces. This is already the case for the KDP books category. Your title and subtitle combined must stay within this limit. Special characters are prohibited unless they are part of a brand name. Interestingly, this isn't currently mentioned in the KDP Help Center. I searched for information on these characters, but no relevant results came up. I suspect this will be added to KDP Help Center soon. If you are using special characters in your titles, it's better to stop now, as it could lead to book blocks. Also, if this rule is applied to books category, any updates, like pricing, might trigger bots to block previously published books containing these characters. While I can't confirm this, it's better to be cautious. Titles may not contain the same word more than twice. Prepositions, articles, and conjunctions are exceptions. This is critical to keep in mind when creating titles for new books. These changes align with the rollout of Amazon's Cosmo algorithm, which leverages AI and large language models to understand customer intent. Instead of keyword stuffing, Cosmo prioritizes context and natural language. If you are not familiar with this new algorithm, I recommend checking out my video that explains it in detail. In addition to issues like poor customer experience, illegal or infringing content, offensive content, and failing to transparently inform Amazon that your AI-generated or AI-assisted content complies with all content guidelines, including intellectual property rights, can also lead to your books being blocked. For full details, refer to Content Guidelines page on the Amazon KDP Help Center. And keep in mind, if you are using Canva to create low content books, there's an important detail on Canva's copyright ownership of designs made in Canva page. Canva states, some third-party print services may require you to agree that you own copyright in any design you upload to their service. If that's the case, you can't use Canva content in those designs because you don't own the copyright in that content. You only have a license to it. This could result in your books being blocked on Amazon KDP since you don't own the copyright for those designs. That said, some people claim they follow all these guidelines but still experience issues with their low content books being blocked. As I mentioned earlier, I wanted to investigate whether this is true and what might be causing it. Amazon considers notebooks, planners, diaries, journals, prompt journals, logbooks, coupon books, and similar items as low content books. Since Amazon officially defined these as low content books in their May 2022 announcement, it's clear they weren't against such books, even though KDP wasn't initially designed for this type of content. However, the rapid rise of generative AI has led to a significant increase in low content books. In response, in September 2023, Amazon began limiting the number of titles you can create at the same time and within a specific period of time to ensure a positive customer experience. From these actions, it seems clear that Amazon may have concerns about the quality and sheer volume of low content books on their platform. It also appears they don't want low content books to dominate certain niches. Keep in mind that many FBA sellers are also offering low content books, like notebooks and planners, as well as medium content books like coloring books, and they are competing with KDP sellers. There's a little doubt that FBA sellers who must maintain physical stock in Amazon warehouses are raising complaints as KDP sellers continue to claim a larger share of sales each year without the same overheads. By considering these facts and the claims of some creators, I decided to quickly examine some low content book niches. Let's start with the search term fishing logbook in all departments, sorted by newest arrivals. On the first page, I see one KDP book, while the rest are FBA books. This KDP book was published on January 4, 2025. As you can see, it doesn't fully comply with the rules we just discussed, like avoiding repetitive generic keywords. And the reading age is set as 4-18, even though the subtitle says it's for men and kids. We can't see the interior of the book, but it's easy to imagine how this might lead to a disappointing customer experience. Yet it was published and is the only KDP book appearing in all departments. How do we explain that? Next, I searched for the same term in the books category, sorted again by the publication dates. Here's what I found. The same book from January 4, 2025 appears at the top. This one isn't a new book, I'm not sure why it's showing up here. Another book published on December 11, 2024. Another on December 6, 2024. Another on December 4, 2024. A book published on November 20, 2024. Two books published on November 13, 2024. One more published on October 26, 2024. Isn't it strange that only one fishing logbook was published in January, just 3 books in December, and only 3 in November from KDP low content book creators? To figure out whether there is simply no interest in fishing logbooks or if something unusual is happening, I decided to check a similar niche, hunting logbooks. Again, I sorted by the newest arrivals in the books category. Here's what I have noticed. Only 7 books have been published so far in January 2025. Just 3 books in December 2024 and 8 books in November 2024. Considering hunting is such a big niche, seeing so few new books being published feels really unusual to me. When I searched for the term prompt journal in the books category and sorted the results by publication dates, I found that only 2 books seem to have been published so far in January 2025, 17 in December 2024 and 14 in November 2024. Isn't that surprisingly low for what is supposed to be in the peak sales period of the year? Were only a handful of publishers interested in creating prompt journals? Lastly, I checked the niche coupon books. In the books category, it seems that only 2 books have been published so far in January 2025, 11 in December 2024 and 16 in November 2024. Once again, the number of published books is surprisingly low. This brings up some important questions. Were attempts to publish new books in these niches blocked by Amazon for a specific reason or period of time? Or were they suppressed from search results for some reason? What do you think? I would love to hear your thoughts and experience in the comments. If you found this video helpful, please consider liking and subscribing to support the channel. See you in the next video.